Oh, it's cool.
Now that's funny.
Yeah.
You are tired.
Awesome. Congrats to you.
Well, this is.
So this is what you got.
That was really good.
I can blow this up pretty much.
And I'm gonna have, I just remembered, I'm gonna have, so Mike Kelley is going to, yeah. Which we don't present, so, and I'll explain it when we get the other members. Yeah, and I'll see when we get here, but we. So, if it's new content, we'll get testimony. Welcome. You are.
Okay.
I'm naming cards for you.
Yeah, I know. Let me get that code.
No.
That kind of goes around.
I don't know. It's how long you take it.
Like I got to walk so far. They don't get.
Yeah, no, it's totally similar. Like, oh, maybe they're buddies. Maybe cross the road.
I live on your job.
Well, this is.
Half an hour. It's in your house. Yeah. I really like know what it is. I'm jigging on that. If you, Presidente. We have to, somebody brought it to me as an idea. Yes.
You know what I'm.
We all do those things. I can get, schools. Doesn't make it if you want him, it does not take it. You're the only person who's going to do it. If you, I mean, I don't hear either way, but it doesn't matter to me if you want to hand it over and I can recognize you.
I see what.
Really? Are there different people that from, I sent you this, right? Like a couple days ago? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this.
No, so I wasn't aware of that.
What? Yeah, okay, so then, wait. So it's true.
Your mom got a grant?
No, we said this down there. She wanted to do that today.
When did you go?
She had a good time.
The Committee on Labor and Industrial Relations will now come to order. Please call the roll.
Representative Rehder.
Here.
Representative Kelley.
Here.
Representative Brown. Representative Burleson. Representative Carpenter. Representative Land. Representative May. Here. Representative Messenger.
Here.
Representative Smith.
Present.
Representative Scott.
Present.
There's Representative Land. We have a quorum present. We will move into executive session. And Representative May.
Yeah.
Welcome. I'm glad that you're on this committee. So what we do, and I know different select committees kind of handle things differently. The majority of the bills that come through this committee have been heard year after year. And so the only time we do testimony in here is if it's a new concept, because the majority of the members haven't heard it in the regular standing committee. So we do on new concepts. And so today we won't, because the two bills we're very familiar with. And so we'll move right into executive session. But that's just our.
Hey, how are you?
That's just kind of how we handle it in here. And if you have any questions about it,
Okay.
so I move to pass House Bill 1891. Do we have any discussion? I have a committee sub that's been distributed. And what that sub does, do you need a copy?
Yeah.
So the only change that I made in the committee sub was, there's, in Representative Lance committee, several of the questions were about removing the first responders and taking them out. And so the reason I've left that in previous years has been because that's the agreement that was made in the Senate. And since it has gotten over the finish line every year, I've continued to stay with that. Now, I'm not against staying with that, but because there were some questions in Representative Lance committee, and it is something that's questioned every year, I think that it does, it is worth looking into and having more debate on the floor as to whether we want to keep them in as excluded or make it across the board all public employees. And so that's the only change to this. Any questions?
Yeah, sorry to clarify, you're putting them back in, or you're?
Right, so they're no longer excluded in this
Right.
House committee
So
sub.
this would affect first responders under this sub.
Yes, sir. Okay, I move that the House Committee sub for House Bill 1891 be adopted. Any discussion? Call roll. Oh, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Aye. All those opposed?
No.
So the sub's been adopted. So now we will call roll for due pass, House Bill 1891.
Representative Rehder.
Yes.
Representative Kelley.
Yes.
Representative Brown. Representative Burleson. Representative Carpenter.
No.
Representative Land,
Yes.
Representative May,
No.
Representative Messenger,
Aye.
Representative Smith,
No.
Representative Escobar.
So with a total of 5 yes and 3 no's, we have moved House Committee substitute for House Bill 1891 to pass. I move to pass bill for House Bill 1700. Any discussions?
We're on, I did have a question. I'm sorry, to make a statement.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think as it was done in the, in Workforce Committee, this component, and which Representative Weber was here before because he was well versed on how the first piece of legislation came to be. And not knowing if the other one had enough time to do what it was intended to do, I think kind of making this change now would be a little bit premature. So that's pretty much the statement. I think sometimes with legislative ideas, we need to let them kind of run their course, see what happens, and then from there, see if adjustments need to be made. But I think this is a bit premature because of the short time that has elapsed since the adoption of the legislation and now the change.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Make a statement also.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So I don't, I wouldn't end up supporting the legislation even if we amended it, but I do think it would be a good idea to at least consider amending the language about contract. Because as it's worded right now, if the contract is under $750,000, I mean, the word contract as opposed to saying the entire project is under $750,000 means that you could do multiple contracts for the same project, keep them all under $750,000, and then they would get exempted from prevailing wage, which I don't think is in the spirit of the concept. I think the concept is trying to say anything under 750,000 would be exempted. But I think you could have a multi-million-dollar project and divide up on a contractual basis, say that, this is for the electrical and this is for the painting and this is for this. And then all of a sudden it becomes every project's under 750. So if in the spirit of it, I think that would be a helpful thing to do. I still wouldn't, to be clear, I still wouldn't support it at this point, but that's what we're trying to do. Cool.
So are we, I'm new to this process, so are we asking questions or statements? Because I have like a question that arose for me in reference to the bill. So is it okay if I ask that question?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is this. So right now we have it where it's equitable across the state in reference to how prevailing wage is, and you basically know the prevailing wage to contractors and all this. Is this going to create like an unequal playing field for all of the contractors basically now? Because it's like, for example, my understanding is, say for instance, I'll just compare it to, we have a 1% earnings tax in the city. Everybody pays the 1%. It's just across the board. So just like prevailing wage, is set by the contractor. So when you go to the labor website, what the prevailing wage is for that. Now that we're creating this scenario, it seems like it's going to make it unequal. So
Every, the way it's intended is that anywhere in the state that wishes to opt out on a project of 750,000. So that would be, once that became statute, if it should become statute by then, it would be pretty well common practice for any contractor to check on that before they bid the contract.
yeah, but it seems like to me it's going to, subject like Missouri contractors to outstate contractors coming in and, being able to, pay anything because they can pay less on those workers, so it's gonna beat us out of work, looks like.
And the general rule is $750,000 project is not going to have each of the different contractors that will be working on that project aren't going to have a large enough amount to bring in too many people from out of state. And it's pretty well known to local folks who want to work those size contracts.
I was just concerned about the unintended consequences, you know, workers in those areas. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? The motion has been made to pass House Bill 1700. And so I renew the motion to do pass House Bill 1700. And could we have a roll call, please?
As soon as I can find it. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. That screen is so small. I don't know.
Representative Rehder.
Yes.
Representative Kelley.
Yes.
Representative Brown. Representative Burleson. Representative Carpenter.
No.
Representative Land.
Yes.
Representative May.
No,
Representative Messenger.
Yes.
Representative Smith.
No.
Representative Escobar.
Yes.
Has passed 5-3.
With your vote of 5 yes and 3 noes, the motion carries to pass for House Bill 1700. Now conclude committee. Thank you all.